Hi, Ash. Gonna give you a wave. Hi. Hi, Anuka. Hello. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late. Hey. Welcome to my first power journaling session. As Instagram's doing its thing and telling people, we'll just give it a couple of minutes. And I'm going to bring up some beautiful music. Where's my playlist? Hang on. Oh, this morning's been interesting navigating all my technology. I feel like my brain and my technology knows it's Friday and it's like winding down. I'd love to know, maybe chat with me before some more people join. I'll just give people a couple of minutes because I have started a bit late. How are you? I'd love to know. Tell me one word to communicate and describe how you are today in this very moment. Fran! Oh, lovely to have you on. We're going to try and go for about half an hour, maybe 40 minutes. I've got about 4 exercises that I'd love us to do. So we'll see how, hopefully we can get through all of them with velocity. I love that word. All right, let me find some music. Also don't know if this is, I haven't tested the music thing. So anyway, we'll see. Ash is saying that she feels content. Just because I'm playing the music from my laptop, if someone could just give me a thumbs up. Okay, cool. Music's working, great. Yeah, I just didn't want to have to do it on my phone and like be switching in between the 2 different apps. It's one of my favorite songs too, Ash. Okay, Anuka is saying that she feeling unaligned and ready to journal. Great. And you know what? Full power to you and so much respect to you for being really honest about feeling some level of misalignment right now and showing up to this so that you can get back into your flow. My beautiful friend Kimberly, welcome. Okay. All right, I might start soon just because I want us to move through these things. If you want to share, you can share a word or a sentence to describe how you're feeling. If you haven't already, grab your pen, grab your journal. I mean, you all know me. I'm a massive fan of essential oils and all the things. It's really nice if you have a cup of tea with you. I don't. I just have water and have a smoothie that I made. So I actually haven't had breakfast, so I'm just going to have that for now. But yes, please stay hydrated. And there's something really nice about a warm drink when you're writing. So if you have that, great. Okay. So you guys all know me, but just in case anyone does watch the replay, because it's going to be available as, I'll leave it up as an IGTV. Ash is saying, I'm sipping my smoothie too. Ah, twins, yay. Okay, so welcome. Thank you so much for coming and joining me. And just, I always value and have so much gratitude for people when they invest their time and their energy. So I don't take it lightly. Thank you so much for coming today and carving out a little bit of time for this. So yes, welcome and thank you for joining. And whatever you need to do just to be fully present for the next half hour, 40 minutes, please do that. So I have put my phone on Do Not Disturb. You might want to do that too, just so that you're not getting any pesky phone calls coming through. If there is anything that you need to remove from your space so you feel really nice and clear, just allow yourself a couple of seconds just to quickly do that so that you can be fully here with us. Okay, so who am I? I'll just do a quick introduction. My name is Trish. I am an empowerment coach. I'm also a writer and a yoga teacher. So I have this blend of my career history, which is in marketing and copywriting, and where I've been moving in the last 10 years, which is down the, personal growth and spiritual journey. And I just experienced so much transformation from doing the work on myself. And now I get to help other people have those sorts of shifts as well. So I wanted to tell you about my very first writing job, which was going back like a long time ago now, many, many moons ago. So I got my first writing job in London, and that was in, what year was that? 2007? 2007, yes, because I moved to London in 2006. So I got my first writing job in 2007. So you can see how old I am. But that is when I first, had a bit of an awakening around my writing abilities. I always knew that I could write. As a child, I would write song lyrics and keep my sisters up by singing at night. But I didn't really do anything about it. And then it wasn't until later in life, I was in London looking for work very desperately because I was running out of money. And I came across a marketing role, and that role actually was sort of my foray into writing in a professional sense. Up until that point, I'd just been writing personally for myself. So that was my first experience of not only being paid to write, but also having a job that I loved so much. This was like my dream job. I literally sprang out of bed every morning. I remember there was an Easter holiday break, and everyone was, it was like a long weekend, and everyone was going away for the weekend, or obviously not going to the office and not working. And I actually remember this feeling like I loved my job so much that I actually wanted to go into the office and work on a long weekend. Like, that's how much I loved this job and how much I was really enjoying myself as a writer starting to develop and unfold. And fast forward, a few months into that role, they started noticing I was really good at writing, really good at editing, and they started giving me more like high profile stuff. So all of a sudden I found myself editing press releases. I found myself working more directly with the CFO and the CEO, and I was editing radio scripts. I was editing presentations and speeches for the CEO. So I really sort of quantum leaped in that job, which was amazing. And that was my first instance of getting paid to write. Anyway, so today I still write professionally, but I love to merge it with a bit more of the woo-woo stuff, the spiritual stuff, and the mindset stuff. So I'm an empowerment coach, so I love to empower people around things in their life. So that's the little intersection that I'm currently at. And I'll tell you guys a little bit more about the course that I'm running next week towards the end. So first of all, let's just get stuck in. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. I will answer them as I go. Okay, so you all know what journaling is. I'm not even going to just explain it. You know why it's important. Just a refresher. It's so important to just download what's in our minds. If you can't journal, the other best way, and I would actually say you should use these in tandem, you should use them both basically. But meditation is the other way to really empty out your mind, and we need to do that. We need to keep clearing out our minds, otherwise we overthink. Okay, so grab your notebook, and I want you to open to a page, and preferably a page that you can rip out and throw away. Let me find a page. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to empty out your mind onto a page. So I would love you to write down everything that you are thinking about right now. Anything on your to-do list, anything that's like taking up mental space, write it down on this piece of paper. It does not need to make any sense at all. You're not going to be reading this afterwards unless there are items on your to-do list that you want to sort of, put into your calendar. But the purpose of this is just to empty out your mind. So I'm going to play some music and get you into that. Okay, cool. That should start soon. So yes, just grab your pen, start writing on paper. I really recommend not doing this digitally. There's a very different connection that your neural pathways have when you do it with hand, pen and paper. So what I want you to do is just write down anything that is filling up your mind, anything that is present for you right now. Ash is saying, I don't want to rip a page out of my journal. Can I use, yes, any piece of paper. I'm actually going to grab a piece of paper myself. Yeah, if you have scrap paper, you can use that. Oops. Okay, so I've just grabbed a blank piece of paper so that I can throw that out. But literally just write anything that is taking up any space at all. Could be anything on your to-do list, and then you can use this later to, have a look at what you need to do. But just do a really massive brain dump, that's what I call them. And even if there's, particularly if there's anything that is causing any feelings of like anxiety, if there's anything that is worrying you at the moment, just write it down. Just write it down, get it out. So just anything that is consciously on your mind, just dump that out right now. just finishing up your last sentence there. Welcome, Mel, if you've just joined us. Grab your journal and a pen. We've just done an exercise to empty out anything that's on our minds. Just do basically a big brain dump on a page. So you might want to quickly do that now. Or we're going to move on to the next exercise. Okay, all right, so what I would now love everybody to do, just wrapping any last words up, is we're just going to do a really quick guided meditation, and then we'll do some more writing exercises. So just coming into a comfortable seated position. Coming into a comfortable seated position and taking a deep inhale through your nose. And as you exhale, just start gently shutting down your eyes. Let your eyelids be soft and heavy. Let your shoulders be relaxed. And your spine nice and tall. Your hands are just gently resting in your lap. And you're letting your body come to its own natural rhythm. Keeping your eyes closed. Listening to your own breath. I'd love you to imagine that you are outdoors in nature. You are in a beautiful open field of grass, somewhere beautiful in the countryside. You are in the middle of this field with tall, soft grass all around you. The sun is warm. No one else is here, just you. And as you're lying on your back with your face up to the sun, staring up at all the beautiful clouds and the sky moving slowly across, your hands touch a picnic rug. A beautiful linen picnic rug. You turn your head and you see your journal. You see a beautiful pen, maybe it's gold. And you see an array of your favorite books, 3 of your favorite books. And next to those books is a big teapot with a gorgeous teacup, a tall glass of icy water, and a couple of fresh flowers that you have picked from the field. And you're so excited because today all you are doing is just enjoying your own company out with Mother Earth. You've got your picnic blanket, all your beautiful books, your journal, some delicious tea, and it's just you and the sky. And you're going to spend this time writing, reading, daydreaming, seeing what clouds you can spot, what animals and things you can spot in the clouds. What a beautiful gift to give yourself. roll over gently and come up to a seated position. And you take one more look out at the rolling hills and the soft grass, and you can't wait to start. Okay. So I'd love you now just to bend your head forwards and blink your eyes open. And you can raise your gaze. And I'd love you to just write in your journals anything that came up for you during that quick guided meditation. I'm just going to spend a minute here writing anything that came up for you. Okay, finishing up your last words here. Okay, if you want to share anything in the chat, anything that came up for you, or any feelings that you felt during that meditation or journaling, please feel free to share it in the comments. I'd love to hear how that was for you. Some of the things that I wrote down for myself was that I really loved that vision, and I sort of laughed, because I was like, when do I get to do that? I'd really love to do that. And I also wrote down that I would also add a picnic spread. You guys know I'm a massive foodie, so I'd add some food. I always have to have food somewhere. But I also when I was thinking about that vision of being out in this beautiful countryside with this amazing, picnic blanket and books and pens and journals, I just had this feeling of such groundedness and this beautiful calm, and it feels really expansive and creative for me. So maybe we should do that in person sometime. Okay, hopefully we're still live. Yeah, okay. Okay, amazing. All right, we're going to move on, but if you do want to share, you can just do that in the chat at any point. Okay, we've got 2 more exercises. So the next exercise is one that I've borrowed from this incredible writer that I love and follow. Her name's Nina. And yeah, this is not my genius, but I've borrowed it from her. So I'm going to give you 3 words, and I'm just going to, you can do this as well. The way that she did it in her writing club was that we actually grabbed our own books and picked out the words ourselves. Just for the interest of time, I'm going to do that for you. And we will carry on. Okay, so, and I tried to pick just sort of 3 random-ish books. So the first word, just for the moment, just write down what the words are, and then I'll explain the exercise after that. And Nuka is saying that she felt peaceful and really at home. Yeah, beautiful. Me too. Okay. I'm just going to flick to like a random page. I'm not even going to look. And then I'm just going to intuitively pick a word. Okay. The first word is edge. Okay, edge. So just write that at somewhere on your page, maybe at the top of your page or something. I'll explain the books in a second. Okay, let's do the next one. I wish I was picking something out of like a lucky dip. I love the smell of old books as well. Okay. Your next word is fantasy. So write that somewhere on your page. Fantasy. Isn't it funny how words sound different the more that you say them? Like I've never stopped to think about how weird the word fantasy sounds when I say it like that so many times. Fantasy. Okay, fantasy, that's your second word. Okay. And I will, I'll write down these books. These are all brilliant books as well. Somewhere here. Okay, your next word is light. L-I-G-H-T, light. So your 3 words, what were they? Edge, fantasy, and light. What you're going to do, excuse me, I'll play some music as well, is you're just going to journal anything at all that comes to mind around those words, and I would do them one after the other. So first do the first word, edge, you know, what thoughts come to mind, any memories, anything at all, and then move on to the next word. And you want to make sure that you just keep writing. So try not to stop at all. Just keep in the flow of the writing. Again, it doesn't really need to make sense, but just stay in the flow of that, because if you stop, you then drop into your head, and that's when we can sort of start reading and judging what we've written. So try not to do that. what I want you to do is just stay in the flow of the writing. Try not to read it too much. Just keep writing anything that comes to mind around those words. And maybe at the end, I'll tell you about the books. Okay, because now that we're in that flow, I'd love to just keep going. Okay, this is just gonna play any song at random. No, not that one.
Songi songi bandikoe, likambo na motema ye, ngai na motema. kemba upa kileba kililo dudua una makanu.
Okay, you should be on to the third word by now. Okay, just finishing up any last words there. So the words were edge, fantasy, and light. Love this song. Okay. So I'd love to know, you can share it into the chat. Did you have any light bulb moments? Was there a word or a sentence that really stood out to you? Yeah, share anything that comes to mind. And there's no judgment at all with whatever it is you share. So for me, when I was writing that, I really explored what that word edge means for me. And I also wrote down, where is my edge? You know, I'm such a fan of growing and looking deep within. And so when I think about this word edge, I think, where is my limit, or the limit that I might know and put on myself? Where is that edge? And then I also had a look at the word edginess. And for me, sometimes when I think of edginess, I think of, you know, it kind of has this like coolness to it. So if someone's really edgy, then I think of them as quite cool. But then the word like edginess can also have this slightly opposite or negative feeling. So as an example, like someone could have a bit of an edge to them. So yeah, that could feel like a little bit prickly in a way. And then fantasy, I actually thought of Mariah Carey. I mean, I'm a massive Mariah Carey fan anyway. And then I started going into, what does fantasy mean for me? And some words that came up were that fantasy often to me is linked with being futuristic, or fantasy is linked with something otherworldly, or also on the other end of the spectrum, fantasy is based on desires. And sometimes fantasy is this word, to me anyway, that feels quite it's a big word, and it feels a little unattainable sometimes. So if I'm fantasizing about something, I'm really daydreaming at like a whole new level. So some interesting things there. And then I love the word light. So yeah, I just wrote a few things there, and that I really have started to notice that a big part of what I do is I really challenge people to look at darker places within themselves. And even last night, I had a conversation with someone, and he thanked me for humbling him. And so when I think of the word light, I really think about my ability to bring light to dark places, and also the polarity of light. I talk about this quite often, that light really only exists because of darkness. So we only know light because we compare it to the shadow. And so we can't have light without also having dark. Someone else has joined. Welcome. I think it's Tavern Boutique. Thank you so much for joining. We've just been doing some journaling exercises, so you're here, and you can catch the last one if you want to. Okay, Anuka is saying edge took her back to a time where she felt very lost and was taken to the very edge. Oh yeah. Fantasy took her to a place of adventure. That's a great word. And insight from what I learned from looking at the edge. Yeah, great. I love how you have, the two words have kind of linked together for you, and you found a way that they relate to each other. So that's really lovely. Okay, we're going to move on to the last exercise. We're running we're running very over time. Anyway, I'm enjoying this. Ash, I explored the word edge and where my edges are in life. Fantasy for me seemed like it was almost unattainable. Yeah, that's what I got too. I attached the word to fantasy books, TV show. Yep, I did as well, Ash. I did the same thing. And Anuka is saying light flowed on very well from the first two words. And like you said, there's no light without darkness, and light is all around us. Yeah, so beautiful. Ash, when I explored light, I explored the feeling of lightness in my body. Oh, beautiful. I love that. And maybe have a think, what are those things that you do that help you feel lightness in your body? Is it, is it meditation? Is it a mindful walk on the beach? I always love looking at your beach photos. Is it yoga? Or is it journaling? Yeah. The reason I am suggesting that is so that you know when you can reverse engineer it, is what I'm saying. So if you want to feel more lightness in your body next time, if you have like a little toolkit that you can pull from, which I know you already do know. Okay, great. We're going to move on to the last exercise. I've really, really enjoyed this, and I wish we were in a beautiful field out in the countryside doing this all day. But maybe we can organize that as an in-person event sometime in the future. Okay, we will move on to the last exercise, but I just forgot as well. I wanted to show you the books that I pulled the words from. So I absolutely love this book. It is Light is the New Black by Rebecca Campbell. And I love Rebecca Campbell's oracle card decks as well. But I would call her kind of like new age spiritual. And where am I up to? I kind of sped through the book quite a bit. Anyway, oh, there's my card. I lost one of my cards and I have been asking for this back. So thank you, spirit guides. That is hilarious. I knew it was in my room somewhere. Okay. Anyway, Light is the New Black. Highly recommend it. Also highly recommend Rebecca Campbell's card decks. I chose a random book, like I said. This is one of my favorite cookbooks, and it is it's Books for Cooks, and I have such fond memories of this because this for me really reminds me of my travels, and I'm just missing traveling so much at the moment. So I first found out about this book when I was doing a summer job in the Hamptons, and I fell in love with the recipes from this book. And so Caroline, who was one of the family at the house that we were working for, she had these amazing books for cooks, and I just adored them so much. So when I went to London after that trip, I went to the specific bookstore that she bought hers from. Where was this bookstore? Was it Notting Hill? Might have been Notting Hill. Maybe it was Notting Hill. I also remember buying one of these because there's a few in the series, but I remember buying one of these on a trip to Melbourne as well. And it was this gorgeous little bookstore. I think Fitzroy. Was it Fitzroy? Anyway, one of those like really trendy, cool suburbs. And so whenever I look at these books, they just remind me of such beautiful times in my life, traveling and exploring the world and meeting new people. So anyway, I wanted to choose a random book, so I chose that. And then this book really made me laugh because it is The Four Agreements. It is a very famous book. If you haven't read it, please do. For some reason, I forgot that I had this book, and I've had it on my mind, I really need to buy that book because it's such a great one to just have. And the funny thing is I've already like read it and started reading it because I know because I use post-it notes as my bookmarks, because then I get to see exactly which line I'm up to. So that was just a moment of, I clearly forgot that I even owned this book, and I have such a large collection of books. So anyway, I had this moment of feeling very grateful for this book. And that leads me to the last exercise. That word grateful is the perfect precursor for what we're about to do next. So grabbing your pens, and of course, if anything comes up throughout any of this, just type it into the chat. I really hope that when I convert this to an IGTV, I hope it keeps all these amazing comments. Don't know. I have this feeling it doesn't because I've done this before, so just forgive me for 1 second. What I want to do, I might just quickly, this is not going to look pretty, I'm just going to screenshot so that I can keep all of your amazing comments, because I have this feeling that IGTV doesn't keep the comments. I've done this before, and there were amazing comments from some other thing that I did, and I was so sad that the comments didn't stay. So let's just snapshot that. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. Just all your beautiful words. I just want to make sure that I've got a backup. I don't think it will is what I meant to say. Yeah, I know. I don't know why it does that. Not a great function, Instagram. Stacey, welcome. Oh, I'd love to catch up with you sometime. Okay, so Stacey, if you've just joined us and if you're staying, we are on to the last exercise. So you might want to go back to the beginning when it gets converted to an IGTV and just do this another time. It's just been such a beautiful morning with everyone. Okay, so our last exercise, because gratitude is like the highest frequency and vibration. So we're going to end with some gratitude. So your last exercise is, I would love you to write about a person or a thing, just something in your life that you are really grateful for, and go into detail. You know, don't hold back. Again, just write on the page. Try not to stop and read it. Just keep writing. Let it just flow through you. This is part of like a little taster of what channeling is like and flow state. And I'm going to be taking people through a deeper process with that in my course, which starts next Friday. But you'll be able to just channel a little bit now. And that's what you've been doing this whole time anyway. So yeah, just don't get into your head. Just keep writing. Let your pen keep writing. So anything, like, just try and single it down to one thing or one person that you're grateful for. And don't hold back. Go into as much detail as you can. So, you know, who is it? What is it that you're grateful for? Why are you grateful for this person or this thing? What has it brought to your life? I'm going to drop in throughout and just give you some little prompts as well. But let's get going. Okay. Let me choose a nice song. Okay. So, just pen to paper, letting it flow out of you, just writing about a person or a thing in your life that you are really, really grateful for. And as you're writing this, I encourage you to really feel it, like really tap in and feel it. And sometimes if I close my eyes, it really helps me feel it. So yeah, tap into that feeling as well. Writing is really about feeling, not just the words on the page. So keep tapping in and digging deeper. You know, who or what are you grateful for, and really look at why. Why are you grateful for this person or this thing? Try and go into as much detail as possible. If one thought sparks another, just keep running with it. Okay, finishing up. Any last words there? And if anybody wants to share in the chat, I'd love to hear, what was it that you were writing about? What are you grateful for, or who are you grateful for? I can hear like the crickets outside, and even just that brings a feeling of gratitude. It reminds me of summer, and it's just nice to hear nature. I remember when I was living in London, I really didn't hear very much nature. Like I didn't hear that many birds chirping. Like it was the sounds and the memories were very different. So, okay, so I can share. I'm going to share a little bit about what I wrote about. So one thing I'm grateful for, just because there's a million, but the one that I chose was that I'm really grateful for my home, and I'm really grateful for the ability to do something like this, and be able to hold space in this way from my home, and just the ability to work remotely. So even having a Wi-Fi connection, internet connection, which allows me to stay connected and do things like this. So I'm really grateful for that, and I'm grateful that I live somewhere that is very close to the beach. I'm grateful that I live in an area that feels safe. I've only really had one parcel stolen. But generally our parcels downstairs are like super safe, which is in contrast to a lot of Bondi. There's so many posts about things getting stolen from Bondi. So I know, like these are the random thoughts that come to mind when we journal. And I love living in a place where it feels really calm and spacious, and what was the other word I wrote? Peaceful. So yeah, I love so many things about my home, and those are just a few of them. And I even wrote down things like, because we're on the 3rd floor, we don't have anyone above us. We're on the top floor of our building. And so we don't get any noise from like upstairs. The only noise that we get is from people next to us or downstairs. But it's so rare that we hear that much noise. We do get a lot of noise from the neighbors because the sound bounces. But in between floors, we're quite lucky, and because we have carpet, we also don't bother the people downstairs, you know, as opposed to having floorboards, which I'd actually really love to have floorboards one day. But again, these are just some of the tiny random thoughts that can come to mind. So I'm grateful for so many things about my home, but the less obvious ones, I really liked exploring that today. So we're going to start wrapping up. We've gone to an hour. And so look, if you're still here, I'll just quickly tell you about my course, which starts next Friday. So I have created what I'm calling a conscious content creation course. And it is a course that really I was looking for, and I couldn't really find anything like it. So like many things that get created, I created from a space of this is what I wish I could have. And I wanted a weekly structure for accountability, but I also didn't want to just learn. I didn't want to rock up every week and just be taking notes and then have to go away and do hours and hours of homework. I wanted an opportunity every week to actually do the work. So what I've created is a weekly course, and it's just 4 weeks. It's just a very manageable length of time. So it's a 4-week course to help you connect deeper with your intuition and your intuitive writing abilities. It is to help you find that flow state much faster and be able to channel. There is a spiritual side, so it is to help you connect with your writing guides, and they channel through you and help you write. And the undercurrent of all of this is that I really want to help people not just tap in intuitively to write, but to write with a sense of purpose. So the purpose will be to, the main purpose is so that you can share this on social media. And this is particularly useful if you have your own business, if you are like a yoga teacher, healer, coach, any kind of business that you have really that's online. The ability to write intuitively and tap deeper within to reach that really like pure and authentic place, that is where your audience wants to hear from. You know, they don't, I really feel that for a soul aligned client, they want to hear from your soul. You know, they really want to hear from that deeper level within you, around so many different things, you know, your journey, how you got to where you are, your challenges, your wins. That's what your audience wants to hear, because that garners the highest level of resonance. That has been my experience in all my years of writing professionally as a copywriter, and now writing in a way that is more like articles and blog posts to inspire and educate people from that perspective, rather than writing like sales words. You know, we're really entering into this new age of authenticity, and I really feel that that's what people want to read and connect with. They want that deeper level of connection with you, and sometimes it's hard to do that if you don't know how, or if you're not used to doing it regularly. So that is a little taste of the course that I have created. It starts next Friday morning, and we'll be starting bright and early at 8:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Time. So I would love for you to join me. If you are interested, please reach out and send me a direct message. The link for the course is in my bio as well, so you can just go on, click through, have a look, and yeah, you can sign up to the course there. And I only have 2 spots left. So 4 spots have already been taken. I'm keeping this first group very small because there's such a level of work that we do on the calls, and I'll be editing your pieces on the call as well. So I want to allow enough time for us to do that, and yeah, it works so much better in a small group. So yeah, I'm just reading the comments. Anyway, if you would like to join, or if you have any questions, if you want to know more about it, we can always jump on a quick phone call as well. So if there's any concerns coming up, please feel free to do that. You're so welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining me and bringing your beautiful energy today. And I look forward to seeing you soon. And yes, the other thing I wanted to mention is if you do know anyone else that would love to do the course, please feel free to share it with them. This is going to be my last course for the year. So the last opportunity to do something super powerful for your business, for yourself before the year wraps up. And yeah, it's going to be really powerful. So hope you can come. Okay, guys, have a really amazing day. Roll off into your day with peace in your heart and beautiful words flowing from you. Have a great one. Bye.